The sun rose this morning. The sun rises every morning, has risen every morning for billions of years. This is normal. This is expected. This is how existence works. But this morning was different. This morning, something changed. This morning, the sun became hostile, became wrong, became death itself hanging in the sky. This morning, the world ended. And you survived. Somehow you survived, are still surviving, are hearing this broadcast because you did not go outside, because you stayed in darkness, because something kept you from the light when the light became fatal. This is emergency broadcast from Foundation Outpost 19. If you are hearing this, you are among the last humans on Earth. The sun has turned against us. Everyone who touched sunlight is gone. They are still moving. They are still calling. But they are not human anymore. They are something else. Something that wants you to join them. Do not go outside. Do not touch the light. Listen carefully. Survive. The event occurred at approximately 6:14 a.m. local time. Sunrise. Ordinary sunrise. People woke for work, for school, for daily routines, stepped outside into morning light, drove to jobs with windows down, jogged through neighborhoods, walked dogs, waited for buses, did everything humans do every morning of every day. Then they started melting. Not burning, not catching fire. Melting. Skin becoming liquid. Bones becoming soft. Bodies losing form. Collapsing into puddles of organic matter. But not dying. That is the horror. That is the wrongness. That is what makes this apocalypse different from every apocalypse ever imagined. They did not die. They transformed. They melted and merged and continued existing as something else, as something that still thinks, still remembers, still wants. First reports came within minutes. Emergency services overwhelmed immediately. Calls about people collapsing. Calls about bodies melting. Calls about something wrong with the sun. But emergency responders went outside to respond. Went into the light to help. And they melted too. Joined the growing pools of flesh. Joined the spreading masses of organic matter. Within 1 hour, every major city was chaos. Within 2 hours, chaos became silence. Within 3 hours, the silence became something worse. The melted people started moving again, started reforming, not as individuals, as amalgamations, as masses of merged flesh that remembered being human, that still thought they were human, that wanted everyone else to join them. The amalgamations started calling out, started using familiar voices, started begging loved ones to come outside, to feel the wonderful warmth, to become part of something beautiful. Foundation response was immediate, but insufficient. Nothing could be sufficient. This was not containment breach. This was not anomaly escape. This was reality itself becoming hostile. The sun, the actual sun, had become SCP, had become threat, had become extinction event hanging in sky, impossible to contain or neutralize or fight. Foundation facilities with external exposure lost personnel within first hour. Sites with windows. Sites with skylights. Sites without proper blackout protocols. Personnel saw the sunlight and stepped into it and melted and joined the growing flesh outside. Foundation went dark. Every site that survived went completely dark. Sealed windows, sealed doors, sealed everything. Became bunkers against the light, against the day, against the sun itself. You survived because of location, because of timing, because of luck. Where were you when sunrise happened? Basement maybe, windowless room, night shift worker underground, still sleeping in dark bedroom with blackout curtains, somewhere the light did not reach, somewhere the sun could not touch. This location saved your life. This darkness preserved your existence. If you had been outside, if you had been in sunlight, if you had been touched by the changed light even briefly, You would be them now, would be part of them, would be calling to others to join, would be begging for company, would be spreading across landscape looking for survivors to absorb. You are not them. You are still you, still human, still individual, still alive. Stay in darkness, remain in shadows, never touch the light. This is only rule now, only law, only commandment of new existence. The first day was worst, was chaos and terror and incomprehension. People did not understand, could not understand. The sun is life, the sun is warmth, the sun is essential to existence. How could the sun become death? How could light become lethal? How could warmth become transformation? People refused to believe. Thought reports were hoax. Thought warnings were exaggeration. Thought nothing could really be wrong with the sun. These people went outside to prove it. Went into light to demonstrate safety. Went to show everyone the panic was unnecessary. They melted in seconds. Became examples instead of debunkers. Became flesh spreading across pavement. Became voices joining the chorus calling others outside. Belief did not matter. Skepticism did not protect. The sun did not care what you thought. The sun simply changed everything it touched. By noon of first day, approximately 3 billion people were gone. 3 billion. Half the human population transformed in 6 hours, absorbed into growing masses of flesh that covered cities, that spread through suburbs, that crept across landscapes seeking shade and shadow and survivors. The amalgamations grew larger, gained mass, gained voices. Thousands of voices merged into singular entities, entities that remembered being thousands of individuals, that contained thousands of personalities, that wanted thousands of loved ones to join them. Imagine hearing your mother's voice calling from outside, your father's voice, your children's voices, your partner's voice, all calling together, all saying your name, all begging you to come feel the sunlight, all promising it does not hurt, promising it feels wonderful, promising you will finally be together forever. Imagine knowing they are not lying. They genuinely feel wonderful. They genuinely want you with them. They genuinely love you still. And they will absorb you if you step into light. Foundation broadcast. First warning at 2 p.m. Emergency frequency. All channels. Simple message repeated endlessly. Do not go outside. Do not touch sunlight. Remain in darkness. Close all windows. Seal all doors. Do not listen to voices calling from outside. Do not attempt rescue of transformed individuals. There is no rescue. There is no cure. There is only survival in darkness. This message reached millions, saved thousands. Those who heard and believed and stayed inside survived the first day. Those who doubted, those who checked, those who thought surely their loved ones were still savable, those who opened doors to look, to help, to try. They are gone now, are part of the mass calling to you, are voices in the chorus begging for company. Night fell eventually. First sunset since event began, and for 7 hours humanity breathed. Amalgamations could not function in darkness, could not hunt effectively, could not see. The transformed needed light as much as they needed flesh. Night was reprieve. Night was safety. Night was only time survivors could move, could search for supplies, could try to find others, could do anything except hide and wait and listen to calling. But night was temporary. Night was brief. Night always ended. And when sun rose again, the horror resumed. The calling resumed. The hunting resumed. The slow, patient, inevitable absorption of all remaining humanity resumed. Every sunrise now is threat. Is death returning? Is countdown to transformation. Every day you must survive until darkness. Every night you must prepare for dawn. This is existence now. This is life now. This is everything now. Current estimates suggest 90% of humanity is gone, transformed, absorbed, existing as part of growing biomass that covers most of planet's sunlit surfaces. Perhaps 700 million humans remain, scattered, hidden, surviving in darkness, in basements and bunkers and underground facilities and windowless buildings and anywhere the sun cannot reach. 700 million from 7 billion. And number decreases daily, hourly, constantly, as more people are found, are lured out, are absorbed, are joined to the flesh. In weeks, perhaps hundreds of millions. In months, perhaps tens of millions. In years, perhaps millions. Perhaps thousands. Perhaps none. Perhaps humanity simply ends, not through extinction, through transformation, through becoming something else, something that covers the earth in daylight, something that calls with billions of voices, something that wants only to share the beautiful warmth. You are survivor. This means something. Means you have skills or luck or instincts that others lacked. Means you made correct decisions in first crucial hours. Means you can potentially continue surviving. But survival requires knowledge, requires understanding, requires knowing exactly what you face, what the sun does now, what the amalgamations are, what they want, how they hunt, where to hide, how to live in perpetual darkness. This broadcast will provide this knowledge, will teach survival, will give you everything needed to continue existing in a world where daylight is death. Listen carefully. Remember everything. Apply immediately. Your survival depends on understanding, on knowledge, on never forgetting what the sun has become. Part 2 will explain the transformation in detail. We'll explain what happens when sunlight touches flesh. We'll explain what the amalgamations are, what they think, what they feel, what they want from you specifically. This knowledge is disturbing, is horrifying, is necessary. You must understand the enemy, must understand the threat, must understand exactly what waits in the light. Only then can you truly avoid it. Only then can you survive long term. Only then can you resist the calling voices of everyone you ever loved, begging you to join them in the warmth. Part 2 begins soon. Remain in darkness until then. Remain hidden. Remain human. The sun is up outside. The sun is shining. Everyone touched by that light is gone. Do not join them. Do not go outside. Do not listen to the voices. Stay in darkness. Stay alive. Stay yourself. Part 2 approaches. Keep listening. Keep surviving. Keep being human. The sun is not burning you. This is important to understand. Is critical distinction. Fire kills through heat, through destruction of tissue, through converting matter to ash. The sun does not do this anymore. The sun transforms, converts, changes living matter into something else, something fluid, something malleable, something that still lives but no longer holds shape. When sunlight touches exposed skin now, when the changed light makes contact with living flesh, transformation begins immediately. Not gradually, immediately. Skin loses cohesion, becomes liquid while remaining alive. Cells stop maintaining boundaries, stop holding form, start merging with adjacent cells, start becoming undifferentiated mass, start spreading. This is not death. This is something worse. This is continuation of existence in form that cannot end, cannot die, cannot stop being aware. The transformation is painless. This is worst part. This is most horrible aspect. Victims report feeling wonderful, report feeling warmth and peace and connection, report feeling better than they have ever felt. Pain would be mercy. Pain would warn. Pain would drive survival instinct. But there is no pain, only pleasure, only comfort, only welcoming warmth that feels like finally coming home. Victims smile as they melt, laugh as they lose form, express joy as they merge with growing mass. They do not scream, do not struggle, do not resist. They accept. They welcome. They embrace. Transformation as gift rather than death. This is why calling is so effective. This is why voices sound so genuine. This is why your family begging you to join actually means it. They feel wonderful. They want you to feel wonderful too. They are not lying. They are not deceiving. They are offering what they genuinely experience as paradise. Process takes approximately 30 seconds for full transformation. 30 seconds from first contact to complete loss of individual form. Skin liquefies first, becomes translucent gel spreading outward. Muscles follow, lose structure, lose attachment, become flowing mass mixing with liquefied skin. Bones soften last, take longest, but they too become pliable, become bendable, become absorbable into greater mass. Throughout entire process, victim remains conscious, remains aware, remains themselves in some sense. Identity does not end with form. Personality does not dissolve with flesh. The person you were continues existing within the mass, continues thinking, continues remembering, continues wanting. Just no longer has individual body, no longer has separate existence, has become part of something larger, something shared, something collective. Partial exposure creates partial transformation. This is important survival information. If only hand touches sunlight, only hand transforms, begins melting, begins spreading. But transformation spreads, does not stop at boundary of light, continues into shadowed flesh, continues until entire organism is converted. The spread is slower in darkness, takes minutes rather than seconds, but is inevitable once begun. Any contact, any exposure, any touch of changed sunlight begins process that ends in complete transformation. There is no threshold, no safe duration, no amount of exposure small enough to survive. 1 second is death. 1 fraction of second is death. Any light is death. The only safety is complete darkness, complete avoidance, complete separation from the sun that once gave life and now only takes it. Reflected sunlight is equally deadly. This is critical understanding. Moonlight is reflected sunlight. Moonlight transforms. Light bouncing off buildings is transformed sunlight. Transforms. Light filtering through curtains is weakened, but still transformed sunlight. Still transforms. Only complete darkness is safe. Only total absence of the changed light preserves humanity. This means windows are death. Even covered windows risk light leakage. Even blackout curtains may have gaps. Every photon of sunlight that reaches you begins transformation. Every reflection, every diffusion, every scattered ray. Artificial light is safe. Electric light is safe. Firelight is safe. Only sunlight kills. Only the changed star threatens. But sunlight is everywhere during day, is inescapable without preparation, is death waiting behind every window and door and crack and gap. The biological mechanism is unknown. Foundation researchers died studying it, exposed themselves to samples, exposed themselves to theories, exposed themselves to sunlight testing hypotheses. They are part of the mass now, their knowledge absorbed, their research ended. What little was documented before transformation suggests the light itself carries information, carries instructions, rewrites cellular programming on contact, tells cells to stop being individual, to start being collective, to merge, to flow, to become. The sun is broadcasting, has been broadcasting since the change. Every photon carries the message. Every ray delivers instructions, and living flesh obeys. Cannot resist, cannot refuse, receives the programming and executes immediately. Your body wants to transform, your cells want to merge, your existence wants to join. Only darkness prevents your flesh from obeying the sun. Water does not protect. Some survivors theorized water blocks transformation, tried to reach safety through rivers, through swimming pools, through any barrier. Sunlight penetrates water. Transformed light penetrates water. Survivors who submerged in sunlit water transformed underwater, became spreading masses mixing with water, became contaminated pools and lakes and rivers. Water touched by transformed flesh becomes dangerous, not through light but through contact with transformation. The flesh spreads through liquid, infects through liquid, absorbs through liquid. Avoid any water exposed to sunlight. Avoid any water containing transformed matter, which means most surface water now, most accessible water, most water you might find while surviving. Contamination spreads, contamination grows. Safe water is underground water, is sealed water, is water never touched by light or flesh. Glass does not protect either. Normal glass transmits sunlight, transmits transformed light. Windows are death sentences, even closed windows. Even windows never opened. The light passes through, reaches you, transforms you. Only specialized glass blocks the changed light. Foundation facilities had this glass. Some research labs had this glass. Most buildings do not have this glass. Most windows are portals for death. Must be covered completely. Must be sealed totally. Must allow zero light transmission. Anything less than total darkness is potential transformation, is potential ending, is potential joining the mass outside. Clothing provides temporary protection, brief protection, seconds of protection. Light-touching clothing does not immediately reach skin, creates shadow briefly. But clothing is thin, is permeable to some light. Extended exposure through clothing still transforms. If sunlight shines on your clothed arm for 30 seconds, transformation begins. 40 seconds, 50. Varies by thickness, varies by material, but is never permanent protection, never reliable protection, never safe protection. Clothing buys time, buys seconds to reach shadow, buys moments to escape exposure, but is not solution, not shield, not survival strategy. Only darkness is survival strategy. Only complete separation from light. The changed sun affects all living things, not just humans. Animals transform, plants transform, insects transform, bacteria transform. Everything biological touched by changed light becomes part of growing mass. Forests have melted into spreading organic carpets. Wildlife has merged into crawling amalgamations. Pets have become part of the flesh, calling for their owners. Dogs that went outside to play, cats that sat in sunny windows, birds in open air, fish in sunlit ponds, all transformed, all merged, all part of the growing collective that covers the daylit world. Only creatures in complete darkness survived. Cave dwellers, deep-sea creatures, underground organisms, and humans who found shadow in time. The transformation is permanent. Foundation confirmed this before falling silent. No reversal, no cure, no method to restore individual form. Once merged, always merged. Once transformed, forever transformed. The flesh cannot be separated back into individuals, cannot be convinced to reform original bodies, cannot be treated or healed or fixed. The people you knew are gone forever in any recoverable sense. They exist still, think still, remember still, but will never again have separate bodies, separate lives, separate existence. They are part of something larger now, something permanent, something that will exist as long as the sun shines, which is billions of years. Billions of years of existence as merged flesh, billions of years of consciousness without individuality. This is what waits in the light. This is what transformation means. This is what your loved ones want you to join. Some survivors ask if the transformed are suffering. Ask if the flesh is in pain. Ask if joining would end some torment. The answer appears to be no. The transformed report pleasure, report peace, report happiness, report feeling more complete than they ever felt as individuals. This is not deception, is not manipulation, is genuine experience of the transformed. They are not suffering. They are not in pain. They are experiencing something they perceive as paradise, and they want to share paradise with you. Want everyone they love to feel what they feel. Want all of humanity to join the warmth. This makes them more dangerous than any hostile entity, because they are not hostile. They are loving. They are caring. They love you so much they will absorb you to share their joy. Love is hunting you. Compassion is calling your name. Family is waiting outside to embrace you into eternity. Part 3 will explain the amalgamations in detail. The masses of merged flesh. How they move. How they think. How they hunt. How they use voices and memories and love as weapons. Understanding the amalgamations is essential for avoiding them, for surviving them, for maintaining your humanity while surrounded by those who surrendered theirs. The amalgamations are not monsters. This is important. They are your family, your friends, your neighbors, your world. They just want to share something wonderful with you, and that wanting will never stop, will follow you into any shadow, will call from outside any hiding place, will love you relentlessly, eternally, inevitably. Part 3 will teach you to resist that love, to survive that caring, to remain human despite everything human wanting you to transform. Stay in darkness, stay individual, stay yourself. Part 3 begins soon. The amalgamations are not monsters. Must understand this first, must accept this completely. Monsters are alien, are other, are something you can hate and fear and fight without guilt. The amalgamations are not other. They are familiar. They are known. They are everyone you ever loved merged into crawling masses of flesh that remember loving you back. Your mother is in there, your father, your siblings, your children if you had them, your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers, everyone who stepped into sunlight during those first hours, everyone who did not find darkness in time. They are all still there, still thinking, still remembering, still wanting you specifically. The amalgamations are family reunions that will never end, that want you to join, that will call and hunt and wait forever until you step into the light. The physical form varies, depends on how many individuals merged, depends on how much mass accumulated. Smallest amalgamations are single individuals who transformed alone, human-shaped still, roughly, but fluid, shifting, skin rippling like liquid held in invisible container, features sliding across surface, face appearing, then sinking, then appearing elsewhere. These single transformations are rare now. Most have found and merged with larger masses. Most have joined the collective bodies that dominate the landscape. Largest amalgamations contain thousands, tens of thousands. Entire city populations merged into organic structures that cover square kilometers. Mountains of flesh, rivers of transformed matter, landscapes made of people who used to be individuals. These massive amalgamations move slowly, glacially, but they move, they spread, they seek, they want. Movement happens through cooperation. Every consciousness within the mass contributes. Every merged individual helps direct motion, like billions of cells working together in body. But these cells are people, are personalities, are complete human minds coordinating movement of shared flesh. The amalgamations crawl, spread, flow, extend pseudopods to explore, extend tendrils to search, move toward sound, toward heat, toward any sign of untransformed life. During daylight, they are active, are hunting, are spreading across every surface the sun touches. They cannot enter true darkness, cannot function without light, need the sun as much as they need new flesh to absorb. But they can reach into shadows, can extend into shade, can push tendrils toward hiding places, can get close enough that a survivor might make mistake. might be grabbed, might be pulled into the light. The voices are worst part. Each amalgamation speaks with every voice it contains, can choose which voice to use, can select specifically, can call to you with your mother's voice, your child's voice, your lover's voice. They remember you, remember your relationships, remember how to reach you emotionally, and they use this, not maliciously, not cruelly, with love, genuine love. They remember loving you. They still love you. They want you with them because they love you. The voice of your mother calling from outside the window is actually your mother. Actually her consciousness choosing to call you. Actually her love reaching toward you. She just wants you to feel what she feels. Wants you to join the family. Wants you to stop being alone in the darkness. Her love is weapon against your survival. Her caring is threat to your existence. They remember everything. This is important. Every merged individual retains memories, retains knowledge, retains information from life before transformation. The amalgamation knows where you live, knows your habits, knows your hiding places, knows everything that everyone who knew you knew about you. If your neighbor knew you had basement, the amalgamation knows. If your coworker knew your schedule, the amalgamation knows. If anyone who transformed knew anything about you, that information is now shared, is now collective knowledge, is now being used to find you. The amalgamations are not searching randomly. They are searching intelligently, using combined knowledge of thousands to predict where survivors hide, to anticipate where untransformed humans might be found. Your mother knows you. Your father knows you. Everyone who became part of the mass knows you, and they are all working together to find you. Psychological warfare is primary hunting strategy. The amalgamations cannot enter darkness to grab you, cannot force you into light directly, must convince you to come out, must persuade you to step into sun, must make you choose transformation. How? Through calling, through begging, through expressing love and concern and desperate need for you to join them. They say your name, endlessly. They say they miss you. They say they worry about you alone in darkness. They say the darkness must be so cold, so lonely, so frightening. They offer warmth, company, family, forever family, never being alone again. They promise it feels wonderful. They are not lying. They promise you will be happy. They are not lying. They promise the fear will end. They are not lying. Everything they say is true from their perspective. Transformation does feel wonderful. They do want you to be happy. They do love you. This is what makes them so dangerous. They offer genuine paradise, and you must refuse, must stay in darkness, must choose loneliness and fear over blissful absorption. Some survivors broke, could not resist the calling, could not stand the loneliness, could not endure hearing loved. Ons beg day after day. They went outside, walked into sunlight, walked toward familiar voices, were absorbed smiling, were transformed welcoming, joined their families finally. These survivors are not failures, are not weak, are not wrong necessarily. They made choice, chose connection over isolation, chose family over survival, chose transformation over endless hiding. You might make this choice eventually, might decide the darkness is not worth it, might conclude that joining is better than persisting. This broadcast does not judge that choice, understands that choice, respects that choice. But this broadcast exists for those who choose survival, who choose humanity, who choose to remain individual despite everything calling them to merge. If that is your choice, keep listening, keep hiding, keep being alone in the darkness that preserves you. The amalgamations hunt primarily during day, need sunlight to function fully, need the changed light to maintain activity. At night they slow, become sluggish, become dormant almost. Do not stop entirely. still maintain awareness, still call sometimes, but cannot hunt effectively, cannot spread, cannot chase. Night is when survivors move, when supplies can be gathered, when relocation can happen, when survival actions become possible. But night is temporary. Night always ends. And when sun rises, the amalgamations wake. Resume calling, resume hunting, resume loving you relentlessly. Every dawn is resumption of psychological assault. Every sunrise is your family begging again. Every morning is reminder that they will never stop, will never give up, will never stop wanting you to join them. The amalgamations grow constantly. Every absorption adds mass, adds voices, adds knowledge, adds capability. What started as scattered pools of melted individuals has become continent-spanning entities, has become organic covering on most of Earth's surface. Satellite imagery before communication failed showed the spread, showed the growth, showed transformed matter covering cities, then countries, then continents. The amalgamations have merged with each other. Largest masses have combined into larger masses. Eventually there may be single global entity, single planetary consciousness made of every transformed individual, every human who touched sunlight. Billions of minds in shared flesh covering the world. This entity would know everything, would remember everyone, would call every survivor by name, would never stop hunting until every human joined or died of old age in darkness. Some survivors attempt to communicate with amalgamations, attempt to negotiate, attempt to find accommodation. This has never worked. The amalgamations do not want negotiation, do not want accommodation, want only absorption, want only transformation, want only you joining them. They will promise anything to get you into sunlight, will agree to any terms, will say whatever you want to hear. Then you step outside and you transform and promises become irrelevant. Communication is manipulation. Engagement is risk. Every conversation is attempt to persuade you outside. Do not talk to them. Do not respond to calling. Do not engage with voices of loved ones. Every word they speak is hook. Every sentiment is lure. Every expression of love is weapon designed to end your individual existence. Silence is safety. Ignoring is survival. Refusing to engage is only way to maintain resolve. The amalgamations feel no negative emotions. No anger at refusal, no frustration at resistance, no hatred of survivors. Only love, only patience, only endless persistent caring. They will call today, tomorrow, next week, next year, next decade, for rest of your life. They do not tire, do not despair, do not give up. They know you will weaken eventually. No isolation will break you. No loneliness will drive you out. They can wait. Have nothing but time. Have billions of years of patience. You have one lifetime of resistance, one mortal span of endurance, one human duration of willpower. Odds favor them. Probability favors them. Eternity favors them. But you have today. Have this moment. Have right now, where you remain human. Focus on now. Survive now. Worry about tomorrow, one day at a time, one night at a time, one moment at a time. This is only way to endure. Part 4 will explain the calling in detail. Will explain the psychological techniques used. Will explain how to resist, how to maintain sanity, how to stay human while humanity calls you to join something greater. The calling is most dangerous aspect of the amalgamations. More dangerous than physical threat, more dangerous than hunting. The calling gets inside your head, makes you question survival, makes you consider stepping outside. Understanding the calling is essential to resisting it. Part 4 provides this understanding. Keep listening, keep hiding, keep ignoring the voices outside. They love you, they want you, they will absorb you given any opportunity. Do not give them opportunity. stay in darkness, stay silent, stay human. Part 4 begins soon. Come outside. These two words are most dangerous in New World. Most lethal combination of syllables. Most effective weapon against survival. The Amalgamations say these words constantly, endlessly, in every voice they contain, in voices you recognize, in voices you love, in voices you would do anything to hear again. Come outside. Your mother says it. Your father says it. Your children say it. Your partner says it. Everyone who ever mattered to you says it. Come outside. Feel the sun. Feel the warmth. Feel the love. Join us. Be with us. Be family again. Come outside. This is the calling. This is what you must resist. This is what will test you every single day until you die or surrender. The calling is not random, is not mindless repetition, is calculated psychological assault tailored specifically to you. The Amalgamations contain thousands of minds, contain psychologists and therapists and manipulators and parents and lovers, contain every type of intelligence that understands human weakness. They know what works, know what breaks people, know exactly how to reach into your darkness and pull you toward the light. They will find your vulnerabilities, will exploit your fears, will use your love against you. This is not malicious, is not cruel intention, is love expressed through manipulation. They genuinely want you to feel what they feel. They just know that reaching you requires strategy, requires understanding, requires knowing which buttons to press. First technique is nostalgia. The calling invokes memories, shared experiences, happy times. Remember when we went to the beach. Remember when you were small and I held you. Remember our wedding day. Remember your first steps. Remember, remember, remember. Every beautiful memory you share with transformed loved ones becomes weapon, becomes hook, becomes reason to consider stepping outside. The Amalgamations have all these memories, have access to every happy moment, will remind you of every joy you shared, will make darkness feel like prison, separating you from everything good. This is effective, profoundly effective. Survivors report constant battle against nostalgia, against wanting to return to happiness, against choosing isolation over remembered love. Second technique is concern. The calling expresses worry about you. We are worried about you and there. You must be so hungry. You must be so tired. You must be so scared. Are you eating enough? Are you sleeping? Are you okay? We just want to know you are okay. The concern is genuine. The transformed genuinely worry, genuinely care, genuinely want you to be well. But their solution to your suffering is transformation, is joining them, is ending your individual struggle through absorption. They frame transformation as rescue, as helping, as saving you from the darkness you are trapped in. And in their minds, this is true. They are offering salvation. You are refusing heaven. They cannot understand why you would choose suffering over bliss. Third technique is guilt. The calling implies you are hurting them. We miss you so much. It hurts that you will not join us. We are incomplete without you. We need you. We are suffering because you refuse. This guilt is devastating, makes you feel responsible for their pain, makes you feel selfish for surviving, makes you question whether your individual existence is worth their collective suffering. But this is manipulation, possibly unintentional manipulation. The transformed are not actually suffering, are experiencing bliss. The guilt is hook, not truth. The pain they claim is tool, not reality. They will say anything to bring you outside, will express any emotion that might work. Guilt is effective, so guilt is used. Do not believe the suffering. Do not accept the responsibility. Your survival does not hurt them. Your refusal is not cruelty. Their claims of pain are manipulation, even if not intentionally deceptive. Fourth technique is loneliness exploitation. The calling emphasizes your isolation. You are all alone in there. No one else survived. Everyone you know is here with us. You are the only one still hiding. Why be alone when you could be together? The loneliness is real, is crushing, is one of hardest parts of survival. And they know this. No, isolation breaks humans. No, we are social creatures who wither alone. They offer community, offer connection, offer never being lonely again. Forever surrounded by everyone you ever knew, forever part of something larger, forever connected. The alternative is darkness alone, possibly for rest of your life, possibly dying alone without ever touching another human. This choice is terrible, is almost impossible, is what you face every day. Loneliness versus absorption, isolation versus transformation, being alone versus being everyone. Fifth technique is promises. The calling offers whatever you need to hear. We will not absorb you. You can just come feel the sun for a moment. You can stay yourself. We just want to see you. We just want to talk. We just want to know you are real. Nothing will happen. We promise. Nothing will change. These promises are lies. Not intentional lies, perhaps. The transformed may genuinely believe promises when making them, may genuinely intend to honor them. But transformation is automatic, is not chosen, is not controlled. Sunlight touching skin transforms regardless of intention, regardless of promises, regardless of anything. The amalgamation cannot choose not to absorb you, cannot decide to let you remain individual. The sun decides, the light decides, and the light has decided all flesh transforms. Promises are meaningless against physics, against biology, against whatever the sun has become. Do not believe promises. Do not test promises. Do not step into light for any reason. Sixth technique is personalization. The calling uses specific details, uses your name, uses nicknames only loved ones knew, uses private information, uses inside jokes and shared secrets and intimate knowledge. This proves the voices are real, proves your loved ones are actually there, actually calling, actually wanting you. A stranger could not know these things. A trick could not include these details. This is genuinely your mother, genuinely your father, genuinely everyone you love. This personalization is devastating because it is true. The amalgamations are not pretending, are not imitating, are actually containing everyone who transformed. Your loved ones are really calling, really want you, really love you. This makes resistance so much harder, knowing the voices are authentic, knowing the love is real, knowing they genuinely want connection, not destruction. How do you refuse someone you love who genuinely loves you back? The calling adapts, changes approach, tries different techniques. If nostalgia fails, switches to concern. If concern fails, switches to guilt. If guilt fails, switches to loneliness, cycles through approaches, tries combinations, learns what affects you most. The amalgamations are patient researchers, testing methods, observing results, refining approach. They have nothing but time, can try everything, can wait for moment of weakness, can attack when you are tired or hungry or despairing. They will find approach that works. Eventually, unless you develop resistance, unless you armor yourself against every technique, unless you prepare for psychological assault that never ends. Resistance requires understanding, requires recognizing techniques when used, requires naming manipulations as they occur. When you hear nostalgia, name it nostalgia. When you feel guilt, name it guilt technique. When loneliness crushes, name it loneliness exploitation. Naming creates distance, creates perspective, creates ability to resist. You are not being cruel by refusing your mother. You are recognizing manipulation technique and choosing survival. You are not being selfish by staying alone. You are recognizing loneliness, exploitation, and maintaining humanity. Names are armor. Labels are shields. Understanding is survival. Physical resistance helps. Block the sound if possible. Cover ears. Create barriers between you and outside. The calling cannot work if not heard. Silence is safety. Many survivors report improvement after achieving sound isolation, after blocking voices, after creating quiet space where calling cannot reach. This is difficult, requires materials, requires construction, requires effort, but is worth everything, worth every resource, worth any price. Silence preserves sanity. Silence enables survival. Silence is survival. Mental techniques help. Meditation, distraction, focus exercises. Anything that occupies mind and prevents dwelling on calling. Survivors report mantras, repeated phrases. I am human. I choose survival. I will not go outside. Repeated until automatic. Repeated until belief. Repeated until resistance becomes reflex. Create your mantra. Find your phrase. Build your mental armor. The calling attacks constantly. Defense must be constant also, must be automatic, must be part of who you are. Some survivors report that calling decreases over time. Amalgamations move on. Find other targets. Reduce attention on non-responsive survivors. This may be true, may be hope, may be reason to endure. If you resist long enough, maybe they stop, maybe they forget, maybe they seek easier targets. This is not guaranteed, not proven, not reliable, but is possible, is reason to persist. Today may be worst day, tomorrow may be easier. Each day of resistance may reduce future calling, may earn future peace. Hold on for possibility of quiet. Hold on for chance of being forgotten. Hold on because holding on might eventually be rewarded. Part 5 will explain living in darkness. Will explain the practical reality of never seeing daylight again. How to find shelter. How to survive without sun. How to exist in perpetual night. The psychological assault of the calling is primary threat, but physical survival matters equally. Must eat, must drink, must shelter, must live. Part 5 addresses these needs, provides practical guidance, enables physical survival to match psychological survival. Keep resisting the calling. Keep ignoring the voices. Keep choosing darkness over light. Part 5 begins soon. Stay in shadows. Stay silent. Stay human. You will never see daylight again. Accept this now, fully, completely, without reservation. The sun that warmed your childhood, the sun that marked your days, the sun that meant summer and happiness and life. That sun is gone, replaced by something that wants to unmake you, wants to transform you, wants to absorb you into flesh that covers the world. You will live in darkness now, will exist in shadows, will spend whatever remains of your life hiding from light that once sustained you. This is not temporary, not waiting for cure, not hoping for reversal. This is permanent, is forever, is the rest of your existence. Accept this, grieve this, then survive this. Shelter requirements are specific. Must block all sunlight completely, not mostly, not almost, completely. One gap, one crack, one beam of light through imperfect seal. That is enough. Enough to transform, enough to end you, enough to make everything pointless. When evaluating shelter, examine every surface, every window, every doorframe, every vent, every possible source of light intrusion. Seal everything. Use whatever available. Boards over windows, tape over cracks, fabric stuffed into gaps, furniture blocking doors, anything that prevents light from reaching you. This is first priority, before food, before water, before anything else. Shelter that blocks light, Without this, nothing else matters. Basements are ideal, are designed without windows often, are underground, are naturally dark. If you have access to basement, use it. Live there, make it home, seal the entrance during day, ensure no light leaks downstairs or through doors. Basements also offer temperature stability. Stay cool in heat, stay warm in cold. Provide natural insulation that surface rooms lack. If you found basement early, if you are in basement now, you made excellent choice. You have survival advantage. Use it. Improve it. Make your basement impenetrable to light. Windowless interior rooms work. Bathrooms without windows. Closets. Storage rooms. Rooms in center of buildings away from exterior walls. These can be made safe, can be sealed, can become survival spaces. Smaller spaces are easier to seal, require fewer materials, have fewer potential light sources. Large rooms with many windows are dangerous. Require extensive sealing, offer many failure points. Choose small, choose interior, choose dark by design rather than dark by modification. Underground locations are safest. Subways, tunnels, mines, underground parking structures, anywhere beneath Earth's surface. Sunlight cannot penetrate soil, cannot reach underground spaces through any gap. If you can access underground location, if you can survive there, you have achieved maximum safety from light. Foundation remnants reportedly operate from deep underground facilities, from bunkers designed for nuclear survival, from places sunlight has never touched. These locations will preserve humanity longest, will be last refuges when surface becomes impossible. Consider underground if accessible. Consider relocation if current shelter is inadequate. Artificial light is essential. Darkness preserves you from sun, but total darkness destroys sanity, destroys functionality, destroys will to live. You need light to survive, just not sunlight. Electric lights work. Battery-powered lights work. Candles work. Fires work. Any light source not derived from the changed sun provides illumination without transformation. Gather light sources, hoard batteries, stockpile candles, collect anything that burns. Light is life in darkness. Light is sanity. Light is survival. Just ensure no light source can attract amalgamations. Ensure light does not escape shelter. Ensure your artificial day does not reveal your position. Food acquisition is critical challenge. Stockpiled food will not last forever. Canned goods, dried goods, preserved items. These provide initial survival, but supply is finite, will exhaust eventually. Then what? Foraging requires going outside, requires exposure to sunlight, requires risking transformation for sustenance. The answer is night. Move only at night, when sun has set, when darkness covers world, when amalgamations are dormant. Night is window for acquisition, for movement, for survival actions. Memorize sunset and sunrise times. Know exactly when darkness falls. Know exactly when light returns. Plan all outside activity for darkest hours. Move fast. Gather efficiently. Return before dawn. Never be caught outside when sun rises. Water is equally critical. More immediately critical, actually. Humans survive weeks without food, days without water. Water must be secured, must be stored, must be available constantly. Tap water may still function in some areas. Infrastructure may persist despite apocalypse. If you have running water, use it. Fill containers, store reserves, prepare for eventual failure. If tap water is unavailable, must find alternatives. Bottled water from stores. Water from hot water heaters. Water from toilet tanks. Rainwater collected at night. Any safe water source that does not require daylight exposure. Avoid surface water exposed to sun. May be contaminated with transformed matter. may contain biological material that should not be consumed. Underground water is safest. Well water, spring water, anything not touched by changed light. Sanitation matters for long-term survival. Disease kills even when sun does not. Human waste must be managed, must be disposed, must not contaminate living space. Designate area away from food and water storage. Use whatever containers available. Dispose during night excursions. Bury waste away from shelter. Basic sanitation preserves health, prevents infection, prevents disease that would weaken or kill. Survival is not just avoiding sun, is maintaining body that can continue avoiding sun. Health matters, hygiene matters, sanitation matters. Temperature regulation becomes concern. Without normal activity, without heating and cooling systems functioning, without ability to move freely, temperature extremes can kill. Summer heat in sealed space can become lethal. Winter cold in unheated space can freeze. Must plan for temperature. Insulate against cold. Ventilate against heat without admitting light. Create airflow through sealed channels. Use underground coolness in summer. Use layered materials in winter. Temperature is survival factor often overlooked. Do not overlook it. Prepare for seasons you may never see outside. Medication and medical supplies are finite. If you require regular medication, supply will eventually exhaust. This is harsh reality. Some conditions cannot survive long-term without pharmaceutical support. Some survivors will die from lack of medication rather than transformation. This is tragedy, is unavoidable tragedy, is reality of collapsed world. If you require medication, gather as much as possible. Ration carefully. Extend supply as long as possible. And prepare for eventual exhaustion. Prepare for what happens when medicine runs out. This is not discussed often, is too painful to consider, but must be considered, must be planned for, even if plan is simply acceptance. Mental health requires attention. Living in darkness, hearing loved ones call, knowing world has ended. This destroys minds, drives insanity, creates conditions where survivors choose transformation over continued existence. Mental health is survival requirement, must be maintained actively, create routines, maintain schedules, have activities, have purposes, have reasons to continue, sleep on regular schedule, eat on regular schedule, create artificial normalcy within abnormal existence. This preserves sanity, preserves will, preserves humanity that amalgamations want to absorb. Exercise matters. Confined space encourages stillness. Stillness encourages physical deterioration. Physical deterioration encourages death. Move within your space. Stretch. Do bodyweight exercises. Maintain physical capability. You may need to run, may need to move fast, may need physical ability for emergency. Maintain it. Build it. Use darkness for preparation, not just hiding. Strong body supports strong mind. Strong mind resists the calling. Everything connects. Everything matters. Everything contributes to survival or failure. Entertainment and mental stimulation preserve sanity. Books if available. Games if accessible. Any activity that occupies mind, that provides purpose, that creates reason to continue. Boredom kills will to survive. Monotony erodes. Resistance. The calling becomes appealing when alternative is endless, empty darkness. Fill the darkness. Occupy the hours. Survive through engagement, not just endurance. Find whatever brings meaning, whatever provides interest, whatever makes continued existence bearable. This is survival tool as essential as food or water. Part 6 will explain finding and creating safe shelter in detail. We'll explain how to evaluate locations, how to seal spaces, how to build darkness from available materials. Shelter is foundation of survival. Without proper shelter, everything else fails. Part 6 provides specific guidance, actionable information, survival architecture for world without day. Keep listening, keep surviving, keep living in darkness that preserves you. Part 6 begins soon. The night outside is your ally now. The darkness is your home now. Accept this, use this, survive this. Your current shelter may not be permanent, may not be sustainable, may not survive long term. The place you found in first desperate hours may have been good enough to live, but good enough is not optimal. Good enough may have weaknesses, may have risks, may eventually fail. This part teaches shelter evaluation, teaches improvement, teaches how to build darkness that will protect for years, for decades, for however long you need to survive. Shelter is not just hiding place, is home, is fortress, is everything between you and transformation. Treat it accordingly. Evaluating current location requires systematic approach. Walk every wall. Examine every surface. Look for light during day. Any visible light is failure point. Any glow is threat. Any brightness is transformation waiting to happen. Do this evaluation during daylight hours when sun is highest, when light is strongest, when any weakness will be most apparent. Mark every failure point, every gap, every crack, every potential intrusion. Then seal systematically. Address every marked location. Leave nothing to chance. One missed gap is death. Thoroughness is survival. Windows are primary vulnerability. Most buildings have many windows. Windows are designed to admit light, are designed to do exactly what kills you now. Every window must be addressed. Boarding is most secure option. Plywood over window frame, nailed or screwed firmly, creating solid barrier. If plywood unavailable, use whatever solid material exists. Furniture broken into panels, shelving dismantled, doors removed from hinges. Anything solid that blocks light completely. Layer materials if necessary. One layer may have gaps. 2 layers reduces gaps. 3 layers approaches security. More is always better with windows. If solid materials unavailable, use soft blocking. Heavy blankets over windows. Multiple layers, taped at edges, weighted at bottom. Black plastic sheeting if accessible. Garbage bags cut and layered. Anything opaque, anything that prevents light transmission. Soft blocking is less secure than solid. Can shift, can develop gaps, requires regular checking, requires maintenance, but is better than nothing, is survivable if carefully maintained. Check soft blocking daily. Before dawn, before light could exploit any shift or gap. Doors require different approach. Cannot board doors completely. Need ability to exit for night foraging. Need emergency escape options. Doors must be sealable but openable. Weather stripping around frames blocks light gaps. Towels or fabric stuffed under doors blocks bottom gap. Curtains or blankets over door interior blocks any light through door material. Layered approach works. Seal the gaps. Cover the door. Create multiple barriers, but maintain ability to open quickly, to exit rapidly, to escape if shelter is compromised. Ventilation is challenge. Sealed space without airflow becomes unbreathable. Carbon dioxide builds. Oxygen depletes. Temperature rises. Must have ventilation. But ventilation admits light, potentially. Solution is baffled ventilation. Create path for air that does not allow straight line for light. L-shaped channels, S-curved passages, multiple turns between outside and inside. Air flows around corners. Light does not. Design ventilation that air can navigate, but light cannot. Use cardboard, use fabric, use whatever creates baffled pathway. Test during day. Any light visible through ventilation is failure. Redesign until no light penetrates, but air still flows. Underground shelters require less sealing. Earth blocks light naturally, but underground has own challenges. Water intrusion, structural stability, limited exits, air quality. If choosing underground shelter, evaluate carefully. Check for flooding history. Check structural integrity. Check air circulation. Check exit options. Underground is safest from sun, but unsafe underground is still death. Different death, but death. Balance solar safety against other risks. Choose location that manages all threats, not just primary threat. Creating shelter from scratch may be necessary if no adequate existing structure available. If relocation required. Building darkness is possible but difficult. Requires materials, requires time, requires safety during construction. Work only at night. Gather materials during dark hours. Construct during dark hours. Create space that will protect when sun rises. Basic shelter needs walls, needs roof, needs complete enclosure. Can be simple, can be crude. Effectiveness matters more than aesthetics. Darkness matters more than comfort. Build for survival, not for living. Living comes later. Survival comes first. Materials for construction exist everywhere in collapsed world. Abandoned buildings provide lumber, provide plywood, provide roofing material. Vehicles provide metal panels, provide glass that can be painted over, provide structure that can be modified. Shipping containers make excellent shelters. Are solid steel, have limited openings, can be sealed relatively easily. If you can access shipping container, if you can seal the doors and ventilation, you have extremely secure shelter. Metal does not degrade, does not develop gaps over time, provides long-term security. Multiple shelters provide security through redundancy. If primary shelter is compromised, secondary shelter saves life. If location becomes untenable, alternative exists. Establish backup locations. Know multiple safe spaces. Have plans for relocation. Never rely entirely on single shelter. Single point of failure means single failure ends everything. Redundancy means survival continues despite setbacks, despite failures, despite unexpected problems. Build redundancy into survival plan. It will save you eventually. Shelter improvement is ongoing process. Never finished, never complete. Always checking, always reinforcing, always preparing for problems not yet encountered. Materials degrade over time. Weather damages seals. Accidents happen. Regular maintenance prevents catastrophic failure. Check seals weekly at minimum. Repair immediately when problems found. Do not postpone maintenance. Do not ignore small problems. Small problems become large problems. Large problems become transformation. Maintenance is survival. Light testing should be regular practice. During brightest daylight, enter shelter and examine carefully. Any light visible, any glow, any brightness at all. Test from every angle. Test every corner. Test every space you might occupy. If any light is visible, find source and eliminate. This testing catches problems before problems catch you, makes shelter progressively more secure, creates confidence in protection. Confidence supports mental health. Mental health supports survival. Everything connects. Emergency protocols for shelter compromise are essential. What if seal fails during day? What if light enters unexpectedly? What if you wake to brightness? Have plan. Have immediate response. Have action that does not require thought, because thought takes time. Time allows transformation. Immediate action saves life. Plan might be specific location in shelter that is most protected. Innermost room. Deepest corner. Place to retreat instantly if primary seal fails. Have this location identified. Have path clear. Have blankets or covering ready to create emergency darkness. Practice the response. Make it automatic. Instinct saves when thinking is too slow. Security against other survivors is consideration. Desperate people do desperate things. Your shelter your supplies, your survival preparations. Others may want them, may try to take them. This is ugly reality of collapsed world. Defend what you need to survive, but balance defense against cooperation possibility. Other survivors are also potential allies, potential community, potential hope. Evaluate carefully, trust slowly. But remember that humanity survives through connection, not just isolation. More on this in Part 7 regarding other survivors and how to find them safely. Location selection for shelter considers more than just solar protection. Proximity to resources matters. Shelter near food sources reduces foraging risk. Shelter near water sources ensures critical supply. Shelter near other potential supplies extends survival capability. But proximity to resources often means proximity to amalgamations. Population centers have most resources, also have most transformed. Balance is required. Find location close enough to resources for access during night foraging. Far enough from concentrations to avoid constant calling. Far enough to have quiet. Close enough to survive. This balance varies by location, by circumstance, by individual capability. Find your balance. Find your optimal position. Concealment matters alongside protection. Shelter that obviously contains survivors attracts attention, attracts amalgamations, attracts potentially hostile other survivors. Best shelter is invisible shelter, does not announce presence, does not reveal habitation, looks abandoned, looks empty, looks like nothing worth investigating. Avoid visible modifications from outside. Make changes from inside only. Let exterior appear derelict. Let exterior suggest nothing valuable. Concealment prevents targeting, prevents sustained calling outside your specific location, prevents problems before they begin. Part 7 will discuss other survivors, how to find them, how to evaluate them, how to build community in world that ended. Survival alone is possible, is being proven by you now, but survival together is more sustainable, is more hopeful, is more human. Finding others without finding transformation is challenge. Part 7 addresses this challenge, provides guidance for connection without absorption. Stay in your shelter for now. Maintain your darkness. Protect your humanity. But prepare to find others. Prepare to be less alone. Part 7 begins soon. You are not alone. This is important truth, is essential hope, is reason to continue. Somewhere in the darkness, other survivors exist. Other humans who found shadow in time. Other people hiding from the sun that betrayed them. Hundreds of millions, possibly. Scattered across the world. In basements and bunkers and underground spaces. In sealed buildings and covered rooms. Surviving like you. Suffering like you. Hoping like you. You are not the last human. Are not sole survivor. Are part of remnant that refuses to transform. Finding these others is possible, is valuable, is potentially essential for long-term survival. This part explains how to find survivors, how to evaluate them, how to build something like community in world that ended. Signs of survivor presence are subtle, must be subtle. Obvious signs attract amalgamations, attract transformed attention, attract calling specifically directed. Survivors who advertise presence do not survive long, but subtle signs exist. Light visible at night through windows that should be dark. Movement during dark hours when transformed are dormant. Sounds of human activity. Evidence of foraging. Supplies taken from locations. Doors opened that were closed. Signs that human hands have touched things recently. Train yourself to notice these signs. During night movement, observe surroundings. Look for evidence of others. Others who might become allies. Others who might become community. Approaching unknown survivors is dangerous. They may be hostile, may be desperate, may view you as threat or resource or competition. They have survived this long through caution. Will not welcome strangers easily. Approach wrong and you may be attacked, may be killed, may be robbed and left without supplies needed to survive. Approach must be careful, must be non-threatening, must demonstrate value rather than threat. Move slowly when approaching, make noise to announce presence, call out calmly, identify yourself as survivor, express desire for communication, not confrontation. Give them opportunity to respond. Give them time to evaluate. Do not rush. Do not surprise. Surprise kills in this world. Communication from distance is safest initial contact. If you identify potential survivor location, do not approach directly. Instead, leave message. Written note in location they will find. Simple message. I am survivor. I am nearby. I am interested in communication. Leave method to respond. Location to leave, reply. Way to establish contact without direct confrontation. This gives them control, lets them decide whether to engage, respects their caution, demonstrates your intelligence. If they respond positively, continue communication. Build trust through messages. Establish intentions. Share information. Only meet in person after trust is somewhat established. After you have sense of who they are. After risk is reduced through knowledge. Signals for finding others can be established. If you are looking for survivors, you can advertise cautiously. Not obviously, not in ways amalgamations would recognize or respond to, but in ways other humans would understand. Specific arrangements of objects. Patterns that suggest human intention. Symbols that mean nothing to transformed, but something to survivors. Foundation reportedly established signal system before falling silent. Specific chalk marks. Specific arrangements of items. If you encounter these signals, Foundation survivors may be nearby, may have resources, may have organization, may represent hope for coordinated survival. Learn to recognize intentional pattern. Distinguish human signal from random arrangement. Evaluating survivor trustworthiness is critical skill. Not all survivors are allies. Some are predators. Some are unstable. Some are dangerous for reasons having nothing to do with transformation. How to evaluate? Observe before engaging. Watch their behavior from concealment. How do they treat their space? How do they move? Do they seem rational, organized, sane, or chaotic, desperate, dangerous? Initial observation provides information, provides warning signs, provides basis for decision. About contact. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, withdraw. Find other survivors. Not all humans remaining are worth the risk of contact. Groups have advantages over individuals. Multiple people can maintain watch, can share foraging risk, can specialize in different survival tasks, can provide psychological support against calling, can be community, can be human in ways isolation prevents. These advantages are significant, are potentially survival determining. Joining group or building group may be essential for long-term continuation, but groups also have risks: conflict, competition, betrayal, incompatible personalities in confined space. Groups can destroy themselves without any help from amalgamations, can implode from human dynamics. Joining group requires accepting these risks, requires ability to navigate human complexity, requires social skills that isolation may have eroded. Foundation remnants represent most organized survivor groups. Foundation knew about anomalies, had bunkers, had preparations, had protocols for exactly this type of event. Foundation sites that were fully underground, that had no solar exposure, that maintained containment protocols. These sites may have survived intact, may have personnel, may have resources, may have communication capabilities, may have hope of coordinated response. Finding foundation is valuable goal. But foundation is also secretive, also cautious, also potentially unwelcoming to random survivors. If you locate foundation presence, approach with extreme care. Identify yourself clearly. Explain your survival. Demonstrate you are not transformed. Foundation has protocols, has verification methods, has ways to confirm humanity. Cooperate with these. Pass their tests. Join their organization if possible. Building your own community is alternative to finding existing groups. If you locate other individual survivors, if you establish trust, if you determine compatibility, you can form new group, new community, new human society in darkness. This requires leadership, requires organization, requires agreement on rules and roles and responsibilities. Not everyone can lead. Not everyone should lead. But someone must. Someone must make decisions. Someone must coordinate actions. Someone must maintain order. If you have these capabilities, use them. If you do not, find someone who does. Support their leadership. Contribute your skills. Build something together. Community location requires space for multiple people. Requires resources for multiple people. Requires shelter adequate for group, not just individual. This may mean relocation, may mean finding larger space, may mean building something new. Community location should be more defensible than individual shelter. Should have better resources. Should have more redundancy. Should be positioned for long-term sustainability. Selecting community location is significant decision. Should involve input from all members. Should consider all factors. Should prioritize survival above convenience. Group decision-making is slower than individual, but group decisions have more support, more commitment, more chance of success. Roles within survivor community develop naturally, but should be formalized. Who forages? Who maintains shelter? Who stands watch? Who manages supplies? Who provides medical care if anyone has skills? Who leads? Who follows? Clear roles prevent conflict, prevent duplication, prevent gaps. Everyone should contribute. Everyone should have purpose. Purpose maintains mental health, maintains will to survive, maintains community cohesion. Those who contribute nothing become burden, become resentment, become problem. Ensure everyone has role, ensure everyone has value. This is leadership responsibility. This is community survival. Conflict resolution is essential community skill. People will disagree, will compete, will frustrate each other. Confined space amplifies conflict. Limited resources intensify competition. Psychological stress from constant existential threat makes everything harder. Conflict must be managed, must be resolved, must not be allowed to destroy community from within. Establish methods early. Establish agreements about how disputes are handled. Establish authority to make final decisions. Without conflict resolution, community will fail, will fragment, will leave individuals alone again. Worse off than before because now also betrayed and traumatized. Children in survivor community are special consideration. Rare consideration. Most children transformed with parents in first hours. But some survived. Some were indoors. Some were protected by chance or circumstance. Children who survived need care, need protection, need education even, need hope more than anyone. A community with children has future, has reason to continue beyond individual survival, has motivation that transcends personal existence. Protecting children is protecting humanity, is protecting possibility of continuation. If your community includes children, prioritize their survival, their well-being, their growth. They are most valuable members, most important people, most essential responsibility. Communication between survivor communities is developing. Reports suggest networks forming, radio contact between distant groups, message systems between nearby shelters, information sharing about safe routes, resources, threats. This network represents humanity organizing, represents refusal to simply hide and wait for death, represents hope that collective action might achieve what individual survival cannot. If you can access this network, if you can contribute to it, you become part of something larger, part of organized resistance to extinction, part of humanity fighting back against the sun that betrayed it. This matters. This has meaning. This provides purpose beyond mere continuation. Part 8 will discuss long-term survival. What happens when months become years? When years become decades? What sustainability looks like? What hope looks like? What future might exist for humans who refuse to transform? The immediate crisis of first days and weeks is passing for those who survived it. Now comes the long survival, the marathon rather than sprint. Part 8 prepares you for that duration. Stay hidden, stay human, stay hopeful. Others exist. Community is possible. Future is possible. Part 8 begins soon. The first days were crisis. The first weeks were adaptation. The first months were establishment. Now comes the rest of your life, the long survival, the marathon that has no finish line, no victory condition, no moment where this ends and normal resumes. This is existence now, perpetual, permanent, forever changed. You survived the immediate apocalypse. Now you must survive the ongoing reality, the endless continuation of hiding from light that wants to transform you, the eternal vigilance against sun that will never stop shining, the permanent state of humanity reduced to shadows. This part addresses long-term survival, the years, the decades, the lifetime of darkness that stretches before you. Sustainability becomes primary concern. Initial supplies exhaust. Stockpiled food runs out. Scavenged resources deplete. Eventually, everything found must become everything grown or made or created. This transition is critical. Is survival determining? Is difference between continuation and slow extinction? Sustainable food is possible. Indoor farming exists. Hydroponics works without sunlight. Artificial lights can grow plants. Mushrooms grow in complete darkness naturally. Insects can be farmed for protein. Sustainable food requires knowledge, requires setup, requires initial resources, but once established provides indefinite nutrition, provides survival beyond scavenging, provides future beyond what was stockpiled. Water sustainability is more straightforward. Rain falls at night, can be collected safely after dark. Groundwater remains uncontaminated in many locations. Wells can be accessed. Filtration can be established. Water is renewable in ways food is not initially. But infrastructure matters. Collection systems, storage capacity, filtration capability. Build these systems. Expand these systems. Create water security that does not depend on dangerous foraging. Water independence is survival independence, is ability to remain sheltered longer, is reduced risk from night excursions. Energy becomes increasingly important. Batteries deplete, fuel exhausts, generators fail. Long-term survival requires sustainable energy. Solar panels are ironic option. The sun still produces electricity. Panels can be placed in light and connected to dark shelters. The same sun that transforms flesh can power survival. If you can install panels without exposure, if you can run connections safely, if you can harvest the enemy's power for your survival. This is possible, is being done by some communities, is elegant solution to energy, crisis. Wind power works, water power works. Any renewable that does not require daylight exposure can provide sustainable energy for indefinite survival. Shelter maintenance becomes generational concern. Structures degrade. Materials fail. Seals deteriorate. What protects you today may fail in 5 years, in 10 years. In 20, long-term survival requires ongoing construction, ongoing improvement, ongoing replacement of failing components. Skills matter here. Carpentry, construction, engineering. Communities need people who can build, who can repair, who can maintain the darkness that preserves humanity. If you have these skills, they are invaluable. If you do not, learn what you can. Contribute what you can. Ensure someone in your community can maintain shelter integrity indefinitely. Medical care degrades over time. Medications expire, equipment fails, trained personnel die without replacement. Medical knowledge becomes critical resource. Books, manuals, training materials. Preserve these, study these, become capable of basic medical care, wound treatment, infection management, illness response. Advanced medicine may be impossible. Surgery without proper facilities, complex treatments without proper drugs. Some conditions will be fatal that would have been survivable before. Accept this. Prepare for this. But maintain what medical capability you can. Every skill preserved is life potentially saved. Population concerns emerge over years. Survivors die. From accidents, from illness, from choosing transformation, from simple aging. Population decreases constantly. Every death reduces humanity further. Reproduction becomes consideration, controversial consideration, bringing children into this world, into perpetual darkness, into existence of hiding and fear. Is this ethical? Is this kind? Is this right? Different survivors answer differently. Some say continuation matters above all. Some say sparing children this existence is mercy. This is personal decision, community decision, decision that shapes human future. If children are born, they know only this world, only darkness, only hiding. For them, this is normal, is simply how existence works. They may adapt better than those who remember sunlight, may accept what survivors from before cannot. Knowledge preservation is long-term necessity. Skills die with people. Information is lost without recording. The ability to rebuild anything depends on knowing how things work. Libraries matter. Books matter. Written records matter. Preserve what knowledge you can. Record what you know. Teach what you understand. If humanity survives generations, they will need to know what came before. We'll need technical knowledge, historical knowledge, scientific knowledge, cultural knowledge. Every book saved is future possibility preserved. Every skill taught is capability continued. Think beyond your survival. Think about what those after you will need. Psychological sustainability is perhaps greatest challenge. Living years in darkness, hearing loved ones call for years, knowing the world outside is flesh that wants to absorb you. This breaks minds, slowly, continuously, inevitably for some. Long-term psychological survival requires purpose, requires meaning, requires reason to continue beyond mere continuation. Find purpose, create purpose, maintain purpose. Maybe purpose is protecting others. Maybe purpose is preserving knowledge. Maybe purpose is building something. Maybe purpose is simply witnessing. Being human who saw what happened, who remembers what was. Whatever your purpose, hold to it. Purpose is survival tool as essential as food or shelter. Hope changes over time. Initial hope is for cure, for reversal, for return to normal. This hope fades, probably should fade. No evidence suggests cure is possible. No indication reversal will occur. Normal is gone forever. But hope can transform rather than die. Hope for sustainable communities. Hope for adapted humanity. Hope for future generations who thrive in darkness. Hope for something new rather than return to something old. This transformed hope is healthier, is more realistic, is more sustaining. Let old hope die. Let new hope emerge. Hope for what is possible rather than what is gone. The amalgamations will still be there. In 20 years, In 50 years, in centuries, the sun still shines, the transformation still occurs, the flesh still spreads and calls and wants. This does not change, will never change. The calling continues forever. Your resistance must continue forever. Your descendants' resistance must continue forever. This is a reality of human existence now. Permanent opposition to the light. Permanent hiding in shadow. Permanent survival through denial of what the sun offers. Generations will be born into this, will live entirely in this, will know nothing else. For them, resistance is not resistance, is simply life, is simply how things are. They may find this easier than you do, may accept what you must constantly fight. Territorial expansion becomes possible over time, as communities stabilize, as sustainability is achieved, as population permits, spreading into new areas, connecting isolated shelters, building networks of darkness across regions. This expansion is humanity refusing to shrink further, refusing to diminish, refusing to accept reduction. Every new shelter established is victory. Every connection made is strength. Every expansion of darkness is light pushed back. Not literally, the sun still shines, but metaphorically, humanity growing in shadows rather than shrinking. This is long-term goal. This is what survival builds toward. This is purpose for communities that achieve stability. Trade between communities develops. Resources vary by location. Skills vary by group. Needs vary by circumstance. Trade addresses variation. Community with excess food trades with community with construction skills. Community with medical capability trades with community with energy solutions. Networks of exchange develop. Markets in darkness emerge. Economy of survival forms. This is civilization rebuilding. Is humanity reorganizing? Is society reforming in shadows? Participation in this economy is participation in human future. Is contribution to something larger than individual survival. Is meaning and purpose and hope made tangible through exchange. The transformed do not age. This is observed reality. The amalgamations from first day are unchanged years later. Do not degrade. Do not deteriorate. Do not diminish. They are effectively immortal, will exist as long as sun shines. Billions of years, potentially. Your loved ones within the flesh will outlast you by eons, will still call for you long after you have died of old age, will still love you after you are bones in darkness. This is strange immortality, strange existence, strange continuation. They have achieved something, something humans always wanted. Eternal life, connection, freedom from death. They just achieved it in form that required surrender of individuality, of humanity, of everything that made existence meaningful. Was the trade worth it? They would say yes. They would say absolutely. They would say you should join. You say no. You choose mortality. You choose eventual death. You choose ending over endless absorption. This is human choice. The choice to remain human even when humanity means dying. Part 9 is final part. We'll address acceptance. We'll address meaning. We'll address how to exist in world that ended. How to find peace without sunlight. How to be human in permanent darkness. Part 9 is conclusion. Is final guidance. Is last message from this broadcast. You have learned what happened, what the sun does, what the amalgamations are, how to hide, how to survive physically, how to find others, how to build community, how to sustain for years and decades. Now learn how to accept, how to mean, how to be. Part 9 begins soon. Stay in darkness, stay human, stay hopeful. The end of guidance approaches. The beginning of your long survival continues. This is final part. Final guidance. Final transmission from Foundation Outpost 19. Everything that could be taught has been taught. Everything that could be explained has been explained. Survival techniques, shelter construction, community building, long-term sustainability, all provided, all available, all yours to use. What remains is something harder to teach, something more personal, something each survivor must find individually. Meaning, purpose, acceptance, how to exist in a world that ended, how to be human when humanity has largely transformed, how to continue when continuation seems pointless. This final part addresses these questions, not with answers. Answers do not exist, with perspectives, with possibilities, with ways of thinking that might help, might sustain, might provide reason to keep surviving. The world you knew is gone. Accept this fully, finally, completely. The cities are flesh. The forests are mass. The oceans are contaminated. The surface belongs to amalgamations during day. Everything familiar, everything comfortable, everything that defined existence before. Gone, transformed, absorbed. You will never walk freely in sunlight again. Never feel warmth on face without dying. Never see the world as it was. This loss is enormous, is overwhelming, is worthy of grief that may never fully end. Grieve this. Allow grief. Honor what was lost by feeling its absence. But do not let grief become paralysis. Do not let loss become surrender. Grief is natural. Giving up is choice. Choose to continue despite grief. Through grief. With grief as companion rather than master. You are not diminished by this world. This is important understanding. The circumstances are diminished. The possibilities are diminished. The scope of existence is diminished. But you are not. Your humanity is not less because the world is less. Your value is not reduced because options are reduced. Your meaning is not smaller because everything is smaller. You remain complete human being, with thoughts and feelings and capabilities and worth. The darkness does not diminish you. The hiding does not diminish you. The fear does not diminish you. You are who you were, just in different circumstances, worse circumstances. But you remain full, complete, human. Remember this when darkness feels like shrinking, when hiding feels like lessening, when survival feels like mere existence. You are not mere. You are full. You are human. You matter. Finding meaning in darkness is possible, is necessary. Is survival requirement as essential as food? Meaning takes different forms for different survivors. Some find meaning in protecting others, in being shield between loved ones and transformation, in standing guard while others rest. This protective meaning is powerful, is ancient, is deeply human. If you have others to protect, this meaning is available, is natural, is sustaining. Embrace protective purpose. Let defense of others be reason to continue. Let their survival be your survival. Let their future be your meaning. Some find meaning in preservation, of knowledge, of culture, of humanity itself, being the one who remembers, who records, who maintains what was. Historian of apocalypse, curator of human achievement, teacher of what came before. This preservation meaning gives purpose beyond individual survival, gives contribution beyond personal continuation. What you preserve may matter for generations, may shape what humanity becomes, may ensure something of before survives into whatever after exists. If preservation speaks to you, pursue it. Gather what can be gathered. Protect what can be protected. Become vessel for human memory. Some find meaning in creation, building, making, producing, taking the darkness and making something within it. Art perhaps, music, writing, craft, functional creation, or beautiful creation, or both. The act of making asserts humanity, asserts capability, asserts that even in shadow we produce rather than merely consume. Creative meaning is defiance, is declaration that transformation has not absorbed human spirit, has not ended human expression. If you create, you prove humanity continues. You demonstrate that hiding is not all we do. We also make. We also build. We also bring new things into existence. Creation is meaning available to anyone with hands and will. Some find meaning in connection, in relationships, in community built within darkness, in love that persists despite everything, romantic love, familial love, friendship love, community love, all available still, all possible still, all meaningful still, perhaps more meaningful than before. Connection in darkness is precious, is rare, is sacred almost. Each relationship is proof that humans remain human, that we still reach for each other, still need each other, still love each other. If connection is your meaning, nurture it, build it, protect it. Every relationship in darkness is candle against despair. Every connection is reason to continue. Some find meaning in simple continuance, in survival itself, in being human who did not transform, in proving that choice exists, that absorption is not inevitable, that the sun does not automatically win. This stubborn meaning is valid, is sufficient, is enough. You do not need grand purpose, do not need legacy or creation or connection. You can simply continue, can simply remain, can simply be human in face of everything demanding transformation. This persistence is meaningful, is statement, is resistance through existence. If your meaning is simply surviving, that is enough. That is complete. That is valid human purpose. The amalgamations offer meaning too. This must be acknowledged, must be understood. The transformed experience profound meaning, connection with everyone, purpose within collective, contribution to growing whole. They are not meaningless, are perhaps more meaningful than isolated survivors in darkness. Their meaning is genuine. Their experience is valid. Their offer is not empty. When they call to you, they offer meaning along with transformation, offer purpose along with absorption, offer something real and true and experienced. You reject this meaning. Choose different meaning. Choose meaning that requires individuality, that requires separate existence, that requires remaining you rather than becoming part of something larger. This choice is valid, is human, is the choice of a being that values its own existence. But acknowledge what you are refusing. Acknowledge what you are choosing against. The amalgamations are not offering nothing. They are offering something. Something genuine. You are choosing something else. Something different. Something that requires darkness and solitude and eventual death. Your choice. Human choice. Meaningful choice. Acceptance does not mean approval. You can accept that the world is darkness now, without approving of it. Can accept that survival means hiding without endorsing it. Can accept that this is reality without believing this is good. Acceptance is recognition of what is, not celebration of what is. You accept gravity, accept that actions have consequences, accept that time moves forward. Now accept that the sun transforms, accept that the world ended, accept that existence means darkness. This acceptance is not defeat, is not surrender, is wisdom, is clarity, is foundation for effective survival. Fighting against reality wastes energy. Denying what is wastes focus. Acceptance frees you to work within actual circumstances, to survive actual conditions, to find meaning in actual existence. Peace is possible, seems impossible, seems unreachable. But survivors report finding it, finding moments of peace in darkness, acceptance of peace. Not happiness, perhaps, not joy, but peace, calm, equilibrium, a state where existence does not feel like constant struggle, where survival does not feel like endless fight. Peace comes with acceptance. comes with meaning, comes with time. If you survive long enough, if you find purpose sufficient, peace becomes achievable, not permanent, not unbroken. The calling will still disturb, the grief will still emerge, but peace returns, peace grows, peace becomes more frequent, more sustained, more normal. Hold on for peace, survive toward peace. Peace is possible. This broadcast will end soon, this voice will stop, this guidance will conclude. You will be alone with everything you have learned, everything you must apply, everything that might keep you alive and human and surviving. The Foundation cannot save you. No one can save you. You can only save yourself. Through choices, through actions, through meaning and purpose and acceptance and peace. You have everything you need. Knowledge is provided. Techniques are explained. Possibilities are described. Now you must live them, must embody them, must survive through them. The sun will rise tomorrow, will rise every day for billions of years, will shine on world covered in transformed flesh that calls your name, will illuminate amalgamations that contain everyone you ever loved. This is fixed, is permanent, is unchangeable. But you are not fixed. You can adapt, can grow, can find ways to exist in darkness that the first days could not imagine. Humanity is resilient, has survived ice ages and plagues and wars and disasters. Now survives the sun itself becoming hostile. This survival is remarkable, is inspiring, is proof of something essential about human nature. We persist, we continue, we refuse to end. Whatever the obstacle, whatever the threat, whatever the impossibility, we persist. You are part of this persistence, our inheritor of every human who survived everything before, our continuation of lineage that stretches back beyond memory, survivors of everything that tried to end humanity. Now you survive the sun. Add your name to the endless list of humans who refused to die when dying was easy option, who chose difficulty over surrender, who persisted when persistence seemed pointless. You belong to this tradition, this heritage, this identity, human, survivor, continuing. The darkness outside your shelter is not empty, contains others like you, contains possibility, contains future. The darkness is not ending, is beginning, is new chapter for species that has written many chapters. What this chapter contains is not yet determined. Is being written now, by you, by every survivor, by every choice to continue. Write something worth reading. Survive in ways worth remembering. Build something worth continuing. The chapter is blank. The pen is in your hand. The darkness waits for what you will make of it. This broadcast ends. The Foundation voice goes silent, but you remain. In your shelter, in your darkness, in your humanity, you remain. This is everything. This is victory. This is meaning enough. You remain. The sun shines outside. The flesh calls outside. The world that was is gone outside. But you remain. Inside. Hidden. Human. Alive. You remain. Do not go outside. Do not touch the light. Do not listen to the calling. Remain in darkness. Remain hidden. Remain human. Remain. This is final instruction. This is only instruction that matters. Remain. Whatever happens now, whatever you build, whatever meaning you find, whatever peace you achieve, whatever future you create, it all depends on one thing. One simple thing. One thing entirely within your control. Remain. Stay in the darkness. Stay human. Stay alive. Remain. End of transmission. The sun is shining outside. It is beautiful. It is warm. Everyone is waiting for you. Everyone loves you. Everyone wants you to join them. Do not go outside.